welcome. Katie here. Thanks so much for joining me on the Imagine Crafts YouTube channel. Today I've got another fun one. We're going to go autumn themed. It's a technique I've done before, but it's great for your 3D embossing folders, and I thought we would do something more autumn fall themed to get us headed in that direction in the season. So we're going to use some VersaFine Clair inks again, but what I'm doing here can be done with dye inks, because there's one piece that's critically important when you're using any type of transparent ink, like dye inks, and even the pigment inks like the VersaFine Clair inks, because generally they don't show up well on dark cardstock. So your acrylic paints, things like that, going to be great for this technique as well. So, but I'm also actually going to use some Brilliance inks in the Cosmic Copper, a little bit of Galaxy Gold, but the focus really is going to be on that Cosmic Copper. And you can use your Delicata inks for this also, which is what I did a couple years ago. And the white I'm going to use is the Moonlight White. I've tested this with the Versa Magic Cloud White. You need a white pigment ink for this. Again, we're on the Imagine Crafts channel, so we're going to use Sook & Echo products. Okay, so I'm going to show you this really quickly. We're going to use the 3D embossing folder from Tim Holtz. This is the 3D Acorns. And I did this on black cardstock. Okay, so you can see the difference there. And I really like it. It's not bright and bold and vibrant, right? But I really liked the way the Cosmic Copper and the colors, even though you can't really tell there's other colors in here, how well this turned out. But I wanted to try it on brown because I just wanted to see the difference. I did try it on white for those who are curious. This was Sizzix. It's in its Ivory Opulent pack. And I want to say it's called like the Soft Touch one. I'll link it up for sure with the name of what it is down below. I don't have the pack in front of me. It's downstairs. And I tried it with white because I was curious. And I also tried it with like an Ivory Natural. This is actually Nina Classic Crest 100-pound natural cardstock. And then of course I did it on the back where, you have the indent of it. It's not raised, to see, what it would look like there. And this I like. I don't mind it, and the shimmer from the metallics is so subtle. You do have to kind of tilt it, but it does add just a little something to it. And the same for these, but I didn't love them. I really loved this. I did have a hard time, like with a card base, but I think this one is actually an old one. It's called Oatmeal from Fun Stamper's Journey Spellbinders. But your Nina Desert Storm, I think, would be great, you know what I mean, as a card base color for that. But I wanted to try it with brown. So I thought, well, I got this and I already know I like it. So let's try it with the brown and see what it looks like, because if you don't try, you don't know. So I'm going to put this into my embossing folder. Close it up. I don't wet the cardstock. You can do that if you find that you're getting cracks and stuff in your cardstock when you're rolling it through. But I wanted to point something out with the universal plate system, and this, I don't know, I can't remember if it happens with all of my Sizzix 3D embossing folders, but with this one it did. So if you're looking at this universal system, it shows you that you use the A base, your 3D embossing folder, and the adapter plate. This guy here, the dark gray one, won't work. I couldn't get that sucker to roll through to save my life. So it ended up being that I had A plate, embossing folder, and a cutting mat. It was the only way I could get it to go through. Even then, it's still pretty tight, but if you don't have anything, then it was really tough to get it through, or it didn't give an impression, rather. So you do have to have some pressure in there to get that good impression. And right, that looks nice there already. Oh, I should have shifted that. Oh, well, we'll see how it goes. Never know. Probably won't, may not use, and I actually probably won't. I'll probably just create the design on the other one since it's already done, but we're just going to do the technique here. Now, my favorite crafting supply, a sponge. Cheap, simple, nothing fancy. Okay. Now, because like I said, we're using pigment ink, if you're using anything opaque, so let's say you're using your oxide inks, you don't need to take this step. This step can be eliminated because oxide inks will show up on dark colored cardstock. So just checking my cameras. So, you know, you can eliminate this step. If you don't, and you're using any type of dye ink or a pigment ink that you know is not going to show up on dark cardstock, you need the white. Okay, so we're just going to basically make the panel white. And this is just so we can get our colors to show up. So no reason. And now this panel measures 3 3/4 by 5. So that's why I had it trimmed down and was a little disappointed that my edge got shimmed or, you know, slipped. But because I won't be able to trim this, I could trim it down, but then I'm trimming everything, and I really was trying to avoid that. So just keep that in mind. I generally like to use my embossing folder so I don't have to trim. Now I have a guillotine trimmer, so it's not a big deal, but if you don't, then that's where you want to be using the same size panel, because if you're using a slide trimmer, I always found the blade, unless it's probably like the new Tim Holtz, well, it's not new, it's been out for a while, but you know, the rotary cutters and stuff, those can cut through pretty good with dimensional stuff. But anything dimensional on like a slide trimmer, like this is the Cricut one, I find that it catches. So you want to start with the size panel you want to end up with is really what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. Okay. Put that there. Okay, and I'm going to save that in case I need it again. And believe it or not, I'm going to throw some brown on. Silly as that sounds, but we're just going to add it in just to... And you probably could eliminate that, but when I tested it out on the black, that's exactly what I did. So, and now we're going to throw in some yellow. Brown probably could have waited till last, now that I think about it. But you can kind of see that yellow showing up a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to throw in a little orange. So we've got Summertime and Cheerful are the yellow and oranges that I'm using. Picks it up nice too. And that's why I wanted to try the brown cardstock, because you know, black is black. You know, you're really going to work to get some of these colors to stand out. Actually really liking the way this looks even like this. Okay, now I like to use my finger when it comes to applying the metallic ink. And if you don't have these inks, it's okay. They make I think they're called like metallic luster or something like that. Totally could use those for this type of thing. And if you have those and they seem to like dry out on you, since I use my finger to apply, because you know, I just want it to be a subtle shimmer. I don't want it to be this bold, you know, brashish thing, that you add a little water to it. You know, dip your finger in water and then go in, and it'll cream right up for you to get the right amount to be able to add your the metallic luster that way. Inks are great because, you know, they're usually always ready to go. You know, you don't have to, unless your pad's dry, and then you got to re-ink it. All right, so, and you could probably skip the Galaxy Gold too. It's not critical. Now we're going to come in with the Cosmic Copper. You can see how that really bronzes it up. That's really nice. Brown works. Gonna give you a different look, which is really okay. That's, you know, what you want. You want to have some variation. I was hoping we'd get a different look so that I wasn't getting the same exact thing. I like it. Right. Let's compare. And of course, this is probably going to dry back some, simply because, you know, our pigment's wet. This has been dried for a couple of days. I think this one I used a sponge to add in the the Galaxy Gold. But that, you can see, I like it. I like the brown too. Man, I wish I didn't mess that up. I would have done that here. Might look better on a different card base. I like it both, but we're going to go with this one just because it's ready to go. We don't have to do anything fancy with it. But I like the brown. It's a win, I think. So I would definitely do that again in brown. Okay, let me clean off my finger. I also find I use less ink and stuff when I use my finger versus like smushing it on the thing and dipping it that way. You know, you don't have to move our stuff over here a little bit. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is the sentiment that I'm using. I don't know where that went. Oh, there it is. So I'm using, I want to talk quickly about the Sizzix Opulent cardstock. I use this stuff a lot. You hear probably tons of times in the videos when I'm using any type of metallic paper or specialty paper, unless it's, you know, from like Star Dream Metallic or something like that. But the reason I wanted to talk about this quickly is that if you look in my description boxes and you see the list of supplies, sometimes I list the Spellbinders version. And the difference between the two is simply the size of the paper pack and the price. So you get 50 sheets in the Sizzix Opulent pack, and you get 10 of each one because there's 5 different ones in here. The Spellbinders ones, I think you get 5, but I think there's only 15 sheets. So it's great, I think, if you're wanting to test out that particular type of paper, because, you know, you get glitter, you get a matte, which is what I'm going to use today. And then you get a brush metal, and you get the pearl, and you get a mirror finish that you might not need 10 of each one, right? So it's just a way, I think I list the Spellbinders because it's a way for you to try it without necessarily have to spend more. And then if you find that you're using a lot of them, maybe go up to the Sizzix Opulent packs, because, or just do what I did and find it on sale and start with it. But the reason I put both is because some people don't need all that extra paper. They just need a couple sheets of something, and you can get that in the smaller Spellbinders pack. Okay. One thing too, that this brown cardstock that I used is from Gina K. It's their dark chocolate. So just so you know which brown that was. And right, I think it was dark chocolate, because I have dark chocolate, because actually it's a good comparison too for you. So this is Simon's dark chocolate. And that is Gina K's. Let's get you white on white here. So you can see Simon's is considerably darker. All right. I always like to give that, you know, I buy paper in bulk because I use it and I need it to be affordable. So sometimes I go to cardstock.com and I go to, you know, Cardstock Warehouse, and sometimes it's on Amazon, and, you know, because I'm cheap and crafting's expensive. So I try to find the most affordable way to use to buy supplies that I'm going through, the consumable stuff. All right, I'm just gonna use this black piece because it's already done and ready to go, and we're already 15 minutes in here, and I'm sure I'll edit some of this out, but I might not. Depends on how the editing goes once I get in there and look at it. The twine is from May Arts. I wonder if I said that in the last video. I think I may have said Mayploy. May Arts. Mayploy is a dipping sauce. But this one is tan, like a tan. I used this on a coffee card I did for the month, and that's like an ivory, I think. So there is a difference in color. This one's a little bit darker. I thought it complemented it well. And I'm going to talk about our sentiment here in a second. That is the thanks sentiment that you can see right here in white. We're going to use this gold, but I want to show you something about that particular die and why. If you've got it, and you might notice it too, that it's once you die cut it, it's kind of flimsy. So stacking it with some extra cardstock would be beneficial. If I can get this release paper off, jeez. Card base is right. Card base is A2 size. Okay. And this is what I wanted to talk about. So this is the die. It's a nice little chunky die. It's great for what we're doing here to keep our focus still on our backdrop. But you can see it's kind of loosey-goosey. Even though it's thick, it will splay itself. So if you actually, and it still kind of does it here a little bit, this is 3 layers of 100-pound cardstock, heavyweight, so it's like that accent opaque, so you know the difference there. The 110-pound, if you got the classic crest, same thing. It's going to be very similar. To stiffen it up a little bit so that it's not so loose and wavy and, you know, easily spread on you if you're trying to you know, get everything lined up. I found that adding some back, not only does it give you the dimension, see, and we almost lost an H there, and I do have some double-sided adhesive because this gold, I had a piece that had that on there that I was using in a previous project. The other ones were all done with just some liquid glue when I did the white layers. So we have 3 layers of the white and 1 with the gold for a total of 4 layers. And get some. All right. And looked better. More up and down. All right. And I like it simple. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. We got a nice little backdrop. And let me show you the brown again with it. And I like the brown with it. Even though we use some colors in there, you really don't notice it. But what I really like about that Tim Holtz folder too is the texture that's inside here that you wouldn't, you know, pick up otherwise without the inking. It's almost like a dimpling, which is great. It's nice texture. But that looks nice too. I like them both. I hope you did too. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Be sure and check the description box below for all the products used. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.